Hello guys and welcome. This is BattleTech. This is the first mission after the tutorial where you shoot the dummy, etc. You've just been given two new mechs, can be a Mastiff. These are not characters you're going to carry with you through the game. They pop up every now and again. This is my main character, your Vaporize. And what this tutorial is going to do is going to teach you some of the basics of the front end, like movement, weapons types, heat, armament, armor, all that kind of business. If you've played this game before, you're probably not going to learn anything new. I want to get to the nittier grittier stuff and do some videos about the missions later on, but I thought I'd better just do at least a basic video first. So without further ado, as you can see, I've got three mechs. You can select the mechs by clicking on the icons, but what I prefer to do is I just press tab. So if you see me bouncing around like this, it's because I'm just pressing tab. And because it's over the escape key as well, and the escape key is a key I use quite a lot. So let's pick our first mech and let's get him moving. As you can see, this little X up here depicts where we need to go. You can click on it here, it'll zoom in. So this send our boys up there. You can see the white line depicts how it's going to get to that position, and there are two dots on the floor. One's green, one's white, and generally it doesn't get any more complicated than that. Green means you're going to be in cover, white means you're not. So if I just sprint there,
on my way,
it automatically goes to a different mech. There you go, and he's just gained some evasive charges. And if I sprint into the green, he's going to gain cover. Some evasive charges and cover, and there you go. And what cover does is it negates damage by 50%, I believe. So anything shooting you while you're in cover, obviously, is good for your health. What you'll notice as well is when you click on one of these circles up here, these little chevrons appear. What they are is evasive charges. What this means is if somebody shoots you when you've got an evasive charge, now they either negate damage or it actually misses. I'm not 100% sure now, actually I have to look into it. But if I move there, I'm going to gain 4 evasive charges. If I move there, I'll gain 3 and 2 and 1 whatsoever. So I'll just run up there.
Copy that.
Once he gets his fat ass there, you can see that he's going to gain some evasive, and there you go, he's got 4 evasive charges and no cover because he's out in the open. So that's pretty much movement. Just move down. What you'll notice is when you're in a movement phase, which I like to call it, you're not either in a movement phase or a combat phase. This is a movement phase, pretty much just moving around the map and just skip past this stuff. And in movement phase, when your mech is selected by the computer, it's automatically in sprint mode. And in combat phase, you don't want to lose sprint, because when you sprint in, you lose your turn basically. But when you move, you can actually move and fire at the same time. So we'll see that in a minute. I just want to get up to this hitbox up here, I like to call it. So just leg it up there, get him up there as fast as possible.
Location confirmed.
As you can see, these guys are actually moving forward a little bit faster than the blackjack, and that's because they've actually got some skills, I think. I'm not quite sure if the mechs are heavier than the blackjack. I don't think so.
You have my attention.
So here we go. Just to demonstrate my point. There's some mechs up here, and I know an event is going to get triggered because I've played this mission before. So what would happen is if I moved into that box now, the event would trigger and these two mechs would come into action. And because they light mechs, they probably have higher initiative, and they get to move first. And these guys would be pretty far back, and they'd have to move up and get involved. So I'm just gonna move this guy up a little bit, and I'm gonna move these guys up as well before I trigger this event. And you want to keep your eye on that as well, because in some missions, escort missions later on, you'll find that if your heavies are pretty far back and your light triggers an event, that escort mission will just start, and it'll be so far back you'll end up failing it. So
Tell me what you need.
there we go. I'll just move this guy into this forest. I'm quite happy these two guys now can get involved, so let's trigger this event. We'll go into combat mode then. Skip this stuff.
fall back, Khmer. Get behind us.
And there you go. And these bars up the top are initiative bars, and they pretty much show who's going to go next. It's not very intuitive, to be honest. As you can see here, this it's gone down to 4. I don't know why it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to be honest. But you can see there's a white arrow here, and that depicts it's going to be my turn.
I've got your back.
which is this guy, and then it's going to be the enemy's turn, and then it'll move on to another phase, and I can move 2 guys, and it'll be the enemy guys. It's not very intuitive because it doesn't really show who's going to be going, but you know, it is what it is. So let's move this guy up. As you can see, it's automatically in move mode now, and because of that, he gets an attack as well. So I'm just going to focus one of these guys. As you can see, there's 2 red lines coming out of it, which means I can shoot either one of them. I can do that by clicking on him. Press escape and then clicking on the other guy, press escape, or I could just press tab and tab between the 2, which is what I prefer to do. So I'm just going to shoot this panther. As you can see, that the Shadow Hawk has actually got 2 icons on it. It's actually 2 icons, not just the one. One is entrenched, which negates 50% damage, and one is guarded, which is a perk skill that he's got. Which I'll go into a little bit into detail when I cover character perks. So I'm not gonna shoot that guy because he's gonna negate a lot of damage. I'm gonna shoot this panther. At the minute, when you shoot the guy, you can't really do a lot because you don't have the skill. So when you shoot him, it's gonna randomly pick apart, and it's gonna just hit that bit if you hit it at all. That is. And on this little box up here, it shows the mech's body parts. This is the rear section, which you're not going to be able to hit. And this is the front section. And these red lines show which part of this mech you actually have a chance of hitting. So as you can see, I'm pretty much going to hit whatever. It's going to hit quite a few bits. What you want to do is you want to get that. The best way to destroy a mech is to get the center torso. As you see, there's 2 values. If I hover above the head for a minute, if I hover above the head, you see there's an armor value. 11 out of 45, and there's a shield value 16 out of 16. Once that armor value goes to 0, it starts shredding the shield value, and once that shield value gets to 0, that part is destroyed. If it's a head, you'll end up killing the pilot, and you'll get more salvage parts from it. If it's an arm, you'll end up losing an arm. Not a lot happens, it just ends up losing his armaments. If you hit the torso, he loses the arm, and if you shoot a leg, he falls over. If you shoot both legs, it destroys the mech, and you get 2 pieces of salvage from it. And if you shoot the center torso, it destroys the mech, and you get 1 piece of salvage from it. So generally, it's great if you can kill the pilot, but I find that a little bit not the easiest thing to do. So what I generally tend to do is try to take out the legs. But at the minute you can't really do that because you don't have, it's the first mission, you don't have any morale, and you don't have the skill to shoot a body part. So I'm just going to lay into this guy.
Copy that.
Oh, he goes. Immediately lost his right arm.
That was a critical hit, lad.
The enemy gets his turn. I can't right click on this guy a minute to show you the damage I've done. He's shooting this guy. As you can see, he lost 1 evasion, so he negated a little bit of damage, but he wasn't in cover, so he's taking the full brunt. So just right click on this guy, see the damage that we've done. So as you can see now, both of his legs have been stripped of all their armor, so they've turned orange. He's lost his arm. His center torso didn't take any damage. His head or his left torso, and his right torso is pretty beat up as well. He's lost 1 gun, so he's only got an SRM4. So this guy is pretty useless, to be honest. So we'll stick with him. Let's move this guy up a little bit closer.
I'll do what you ask.
One of the things that this character has is something called multi-target. I don't want to cover it too much, but I think I will actually, because there's something about multi-target that makes it a little bit confusing. At first I had difficulty trying to suss it out, but you'll notice that Vaporize doesn't have it. I can't click on it, but let's go back to this Kantaro. What I'm going to do is I'll select multi-target. I'll select this one and an A appears, and then I'm going to click on this one and a B appears. Now it's not enough just to press fire, because what it does is it fires everything at A. So if you come down to your weapon loadout, you'll notice that all these icons here, they've got an A above them. So what I'll do is send half my salvo into the Panther, and I'll send half my salvo into the Shadow Hawk. And once you're happy with that, just press fire, and it'll fire the first 3 weapons at the Panther. And then it'll turn in and fire at the Shadow Hawk, and that's how you deal with multi-target. Multi-target is one of the perks that I would definitely take when you go to character customization later on in the game, but I'll cover that a bit later, I think. As you can see, Vaporize actually is pretty skillless, to be honest. This is your main character. Once you get experience, you'll be able to get that multi-target.
All weapons committed.
Nice job.
There you go, his center torso is destroyed, his right torso is destroyed, his left leg, his left torso, his left arm is destroyed. So this guy is he's gone, he's out of it. But later on in the later missions, you get salvo from killing a mech. And like I said, if he dies by losing his center torso, you only get one piece of salvage.
Talk to me.
Let's just move this guy up. This guy is in forestry, he's got cover on him, so he's going to take half damage. I've got cover now into evasive charges.
Triggering an alpha strike.
Another thing I want to cover here is heat. Heat is generated from every weapon that you fire. Let me just get back to the mech.
Tell me what you need.
Move this guy up. Yeah, heat is generated from every weapon that you fire, and if you hover over one of your weapons, you can see this medium laser here generates plus 10 heat. The SRMs are the worst, I think, plus 14 heat, and the long-range missiles just plus 6 heat. And if you see, this is the heat bar here. Once it goes over this pip, you're going to start overheating, and once it gets to the top, you're actually going to shut down, and you really don't want that to happen. And you actually don't want it to go over the pip, because later on it will cause damage, and your mech will be out of action. You'll have to wait a day or two for it to be repaired, but sometimes it's just unavoidable. So this guy's generated a bit of heat here. That flashing part illustrates that if you didn't fire, that's how much it would go down by. Now, if I click on this guy, for instance, and I want to fire at him, you can see that heat level's gone way over that pip, and it's giving you a heat warning. So you don't want to be doing that. So you've got two options. You can either not shoot at him at all, or you can decide which weapons you want to shoot at him. So, for instance, if I knock these two SRM6s off, you can see that this heat level will still increase, because obviously I'm still shooting him with stuff, but it's not going to go over the pip there. So I'll just go with that and shoot at him. There you go. He's lost his right torso and his right
Pierce
arm.
through the armor.
Move this guy up. Obviously I'm not being very tactical here. I just want to get these guys dead as fast as possible. This unsteady as well. As you can see, in unsteady he's got 5 bars. Once that your guys have got it as well, obviously. I'll right click on him. Once these 5 bars get to the top, he will actually fall over. And if it's happening to you, I think missiles do the most amount of unsteady damage. If it's happening to you, what you can do to get rid of it is brace. If you brace though, you lose your fire chance, or your fire round rather, but it will drop all of your unsteady pips back down to 0. But all my guys are alright at the minute. He's in a bit of trouble, so just shoot this lad, get him out of the way. There you go, he's lost his leg. Right, so he's lost his leg now, and this guy is dropped, and he's on the floor. He's lost 1 initiative point. It's not going to affect him that much, because he is a light, and he probably will get straight back up on his next turn. So now that this guy is down, I can still move, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go into attack mode. I'm going to shoot him. Now, because he's on the floor, I can go into what's called call shot, and why can't I shoot this guy? Oh, he spun around for some reason. I must have spun him around by accident. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I just need to rotate him. Look, so these spin in circles. You can just click on the guy and then choose the arc you want to aim in, and that's counted as a move phase. So he's gone into fire phase now. So if I click on this guy, it's brought up this call shot box, and this you can do this to targets that have either fallen on the floor or have overheated. And as you can see, I can pick a target to shoot at. Now this is real handy, this. And what I should do is I should shoot his leg and get the two salvage parts, but I'm just going to shoot his torso for the lols of it. And it's definitely going to finish him, I would imagine. And there you go, his center torso is destroyed. His pilot is incapacitated, and he's out of the picture. And that's the end of that little bit of engagement. Just skip all this stuff. Back to my turn, and it's gone into movement phase again. I'm not going to go to the end of this mission. I just wanted to cover the basics. Only other thing I would say is that before you're moving up, because it's not time critical, I don't think I've ever seen a mission with a timer on it. You might just want to brace. Bring those heat levels back down to 0, because if you end up in a position where your heat levels are still maxed out and you get into a fight, you're going to find yourself in a spot to bother. So just brace again, bring them down. You see nothing's happening, there's no enemy coming on the screen or bugger all, so you're not threatened at all. And obviously chuck in a sneaky save, and then once those levels are down to 0, which they are,
Yes, I hear you.
you can just move on, basically. And I think that's it. I think I've covered everything there. Our own armor obviously is self-explanatory. If hovers over something, you can see is pretty much maxed out. So yeah, and that's it. So my next video is probably going to be up to the point where you've acquired the Argo. There's a lot to cover there. So good luck. I hope it helped, and see you in the future.